So I figured he wouldn't try nothing because it's just too much proximity to other people. I was wrong. So instead of him getting in the car, he comes running around the car to get me. Well, I'm holding his keys and my purse and screaming and trying to run. And he's literally wearing a wife beater, some socks, and a condom. I love story times, so I'm gonna do one. So this one time I was working in Oakland. I was out on the street. I was on the Blade. If you don't know what the Blade is, it's where girls go, stand on the street, and work as. So yeah, I was outside working, and this guy pulled up on me, and he told me he had 150 for a car date. If you don't know what a car date is, it means a quick interaction that may or may not include intercourse in the car. So he pulls up a couple of blocks and we park. It's like 2 a.m. It's nobody outside. It's very dark. But he parked next to a curb that was real high. So if I tried to open the door, it wasn't going to open. Well, it wasn't going to open out all the way at least, right? So I tell him to move up a little bit, and he does. And I don't even check the door again. I just figure, oh, he moved up, so it's probably going to open, right? That was dumb. I should have never not checked again. He hands me the money, and I put it away, and I'm making small talk, but I'm still watching him, out the corner of my eye. And by the time I put the money away and get the condom out, he literally has pulled a butcher knife from his side of the car on the side of the seat and pulled it out. And I don't even know what the hell he planned on doing with it. If he was going to threaten me with it or he was going to just use it right away. I don't know. But I was able to squeeze so tight outside of his car that I got scraped on both sides of my hips to where I was bleeding because I moved so fast. And it happened to be a day where I didn't glue my wig down, which is not common. And he tried to grab me by my hair and my wig came off. So I was able to squeeze and get out of the car and get away from him because, my wig came off. And he ended up throwing the wig out of the fucking window and doing so much more. I'm going to see what kind of response I get on this video, and then maybe I'll do a part 2.
Man, shout out to Oakland. Yo, she said that the homie, why go through all that when you could just pull the knife out? So good thing that you were wearing a wig, baby, and that it did fly off. But I don't know what to say. This is crazy work, and it makes you wonder where women go to these lengths to make money instead of just getting a regular job because they know that they can do this and generate some serious cash. I guess $150 for a quick date. But there's so much going on. There's so much to be said. There's so many women who are voluntarily doing this to get money and they don't want to do anything else. And maybe a lot of these women are still up in age, still trying to do these things. And then eventually maybe look for a man to take care of them or look for one of their old clients that maybe in the 80s that'll take care of them. But that's not what they really want. But I think Charleston White said it best. To do this type of work, you have to be soulless. You have to, as a woman, you have to basically turn into a man because men don't, our emotions and feelings aren't attached to these things. So a woman has to sever that connection to be able to do this repeatedly. Men, we don't have an issue doing that. But she did a follow-up, guys. Let's get into that and see what happened. Let's go.
So while I'm feeling open, I guess I'll do another story time. Sometimes it's hard to think of what story time to do because I don't want to be vulgar or graphic in the details of the story. But the profession of prostitution is graphic and vulgar within itself. So here it goes. Okay, so my very first trip out of state to work on the Blade was to Texas. And I went to Houston to walk on Bissonnette. Bissonnette is similar to all the Blades you see in California and LA or whatnot, or wherever. So it was popular to stand in this hotel parking lot because the hotel owners allowed you to pay like, I don't know, $20 or $30 to use a room for 1 hour. And so most of the girls stood there, and the Johns would just take them right in the room real quick. And I decided I wanted to walk down the street because that's what I was used to. I wasn't used to just standing in one spot waiting on cars. I was used to walking down the street and advertising my services. Well, not services, but I guess just my looks. And so I walked down a little bit, and this guy pulls over who happens to be black, which is a little bit new for me because most of the clientele where I'm from in California were like Hispanic, Asian, or white or Indian, but not black. Usually the black guys are the pimps. So I noticed out here, though, that a lot of the customers were black, and a lot of the black guys were attracted to me. So I kind of let my guard down. And it sounds weird, even from me being a black woman, speaking about black men as if they're categorically different than the other men, but in the business of prostitution, they are. So when I got into this man's car, it was like a SUV. He was very nice, like overly nice, and he had to be only about, I don't know, 35, maybe younger, dark-skinned, young, had like a wife beater on, seemed like, a regular dude, which I was kind of used to, being customers of mine. But I did have a feeling of, he was just so nice, giving me so many compliments, and he didn't want to go back to the hotel. He wanted a car date. So yes, like the last story, this is a car date that turned out to be dangerous. But I thought I was being saved by having him pull into a parking lot of a club, because there were some people outside in the front of the club, and there were a lot of cars in the parking lot. So I figured he wouldn't try nothing because it's just too much proximity to other people. I was wrong.
I wanna go to a motel just for 4 hours on a short stay. Hey, baby, you should have been doing like all the other girls were. You paying for short stay. Everybody, they got the hotel owners are there. You got all these people in there, but you deciding you want to be different. It's unfortunate, but I guess we're really about to see what's going on here. And I hear a lot of this 304 TikTok. They talk about black dudes as far as Johns and all these issues that come along with it, and they're cheap. And she said categorically they are different than everybody else. I guess we'll see how. Let's get back to it though. Let's go.
So the crazy thing is, we got hop in the back seat. He pays me. We do the full act, okay? When he's done, like, by the reaction of him that he's done, he immediately starts choking me. So he's on top of me in the back seat, choking me, saying shut up before I even said anything. I was kind of shocked at first, so before I even screamed, I just kind of rose up and started choking him back. And because he didn't expect me to be so strong, he started punching me in my face. Like, you see this scar on my nose? He gave me that. So he starts punching me in my face over and over and over. And that's when I started to scream. And he hopped out the car to get into the driver's seat because he was going to take me with him. And when he hopped out the car, I hopped in the front seat. I hopped in the passenger seat where I had left my purse on the floor and grabbed his keys out the ignition where they were still, grabbed my purse and hopped out the passenger door, right? So instead of him getting in the car, he comes running around the car to get me while I'm holding his keys and my purse and screaming and trying to run. And he's literally wearing a wife beater, some socks, and a condom. It was crazy. I remember like how he looked coming at me, but because he caught me, and he grabbed my head, and he knocked my face into another car, and that broke my jaw. But I fell on the ground. I still had his keys and my purse, and I threw his keys one way and I threw my purse the other way. And of course, he ran after his keys because now we're outside of the car. You're exposed out here. I'm screaming. And he got in his car and he drove off. As soon as he drove off, because my screams were so loud, the guy that I was paying, my pimp, my ex-pimp, he came driving up to me so fast. Like, get in, get in. I don't even know how he found me, how he heard me. But I got in his car, and I noticed I couldn't talk. My jaw was broken, and I had my purse. I was wearing a dress, so I had everything of mine, but my jaw was broken. My face was bloody. I'm getting all into it. I didn't even realize I wasn't on camera. So he tried to follow the guy for a second, but he lost us kind of fast because we wasn't from there and we didn't want to get pulled over. So I literally had to be dropped off at the hospital because, of course, my pimp couldn't come in there with me. It's early in the morning. I was dressed half naked. And obviously, they would be looking to him for answers of what happened to me. So he had to drop me off. And the next morning, I had to Uber back to the hotel. And we relocated. And I learned of a little city called Pasadena in Texas where it's a lot of workers, and kept going.
Yo, 304 life is dangerous. Why folks do stuff like that, I don't know. What they say, that's why they need to go ahead and legalize it and have these things going on. That way these women who do decide to do this are protected, for lack of a better term, instead of this. But hey, that's some nasty work. And I'm pretty sure with her story, there's millions of other stories similar or worse than, and worse, excuse me, not or worse, and worse than this one right here, guys. These women on TikTok, it's like they're getting off. It's like their therapy session. They're letting these stories out, guys. So shout out to 304 TikTok and shout out to this young lady right here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next videos. It's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. Listen, it's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. Let's run it up to 1 million. I'm the best. Quit playing with me. Peace.